Once upon a time, I met a very interesting trader. I heard that he had doubled his money in just a few months, and I wanted to learn his secret. After communicating with him for a while, I discovered that his approach was quite different from mine. He traded according to indicators. I analyzed a few of his trades and realized that the entry point was usually quite good. He entered and exited at key positions, resulting in nearly 90% of his trades being profitable. At first glance, it seemed like he had found a magic formula. However, after a deeper conversation, I learned an important lesson from his story. You have to know when the market is easy and when it is difficult. The easy market is when the trend is strong. All the analysis is clear. You just need to follow the rules to win. The difficult market is when it is sideways. Confusion or strong news does not follow any logic. In these stages, the smartest thing is not trying to win but reducing the volume, limiting the trade, or even standing outside the observation. I once chose not to trade for 2 weeks because the market was sideways. Many people think I missed the opportunity, but in fact, it was thanks to that patience that I kept the capital to wait for a bigger opportunity. I want you to understand that in trading, not trading is also a type of trading. It is a brilliant choice when you know the market is not favorable. Don't think that you have to have orders all the time to be a trader. Sometimes waiting is the best skill. I will summarize this part with 3 lessons that you need to remember to earn money in trading. 1. The easy market is when the trend is clear, but it will not last forever. 2. The difficult market, especially sideways, is the stage that makes you lose the most profit if you don't control. 3. Sometimes choosing not to trade is the smartest decision to save capital and wait for a better opportunity. 5. Break the cycle of winning, excitement, losing, fear. In my trading process, there is one thing that I have realized after many falls, that most of us are trapped in a never-ending cycle. It starts with a winning order. You are excited. It feels like the market is in your hands. That excitement pushes you to increase the volume, ignore the principle of capital management, even open more orders at a time. But as soon as the market changes direction, all the fun is gone, replaced by heavy losses when the account goes down. The fear rises, you withdraw cheaper, do and dare to order, or just came in early because you are afraid to lose more, and then when you miss the opportunity, you regret it. Blame yourself. Create a cycle of mind reversal. I remember once I put a $500 $2,000 account in just a few weeks. I thought I had found the secret, that I just had to do it right and it would be successful forever. But then the excitement made me blind. I increased the lot many times thinking that just one more order and the account would go up. The result was that only after a week the money in the account was less than $300. That shock made me sit in front of the screen, not believing what had happened. The feeling of falling from the top to the bottom is one of the most overwhelming experiences in this job. The legendary architect Jesse Livermore said that the biggest enemy of traders is not the market, but their emotions. He had earned and lost millions of dollars many times in his career just because he couldn't get out of this mind reversal. His philosophy emphasized that the market always exists, there are always opportunities, but if you can't control yourself, you will always make the same mistakes. I met many friends in the trading community who experienced the same thing. They were happy to show their double-digit account. I realized that trading is like a psychological game. Every time you win, you lose. Every time you lose, you fear. If you don't recognize this saying is deeply engraved in my mind because it has been true to myself for many years. I realized that winning, excitement, losing, fear not only makes you lose money, but also your spirit, makes you lose faith in yourself. Many traders after such failures have given up, thinking that trading is just a game, but the problem is not in the market, but in the fact that they haven't gotten out of that mind circle. So how to get out? For me, the answer is discipline and system. I started writing a transaction diary. I wrote down each order, each emotion, each mistake. That way, I could see when I was too excited, when I was afraid of losing money. I also established strict rules. For example, one day not to open too many orders, 1 week not to risk more than 10% of the account. These rules are like a protective shield to help me not to go too deep into the emotional loop. I will summarize this part with 3 lessons that you need to remember to earn money in trading. First, the mind circle, winning, excitement, losing, fear are the common enemies of all traders. If you don't recognize them, you will always be stuck. Second, the excitement after winning is the fuel for big failures. So you have to keep the rules even when you are winning. Third, the only way to get out of the mind circle is to build a system and a transaction discipline, not to let your emotions lead you, but to let the rules control you. 6. Emotional management and self-control. When I realized that the mind circle is the main reason for me to lose money, I realized that trading is not just about reading notes or getting information, but more than that, it's about self-management. One of the biggest changes I made was to write a transaction diary. I wrote down every order, not only the input, output, but also the emotion when I pressed the button. Once I wrote this order down because I saw the price was running high, but I didn't want to miss it. Just one sentence like that made me realize that I was being emotionally controlled. The more I wrote, the more I realized my own behavior pattern and how to fix it. I also applied simple psychological techniques such as taking deep breaths. Before each order, I took a long breath, hold it for a few seconds, then slowly breathe out to calm my mind. Many times, just by taking a few breaths, I prevented myself from making hasty decisions. I also use the 5-second rule. When I want to enter an order, I will count 5 seconds to think. If after 5 seconds, my mind still agrees, then I press the button. It sounds simple, but these small habits make a big difference. In terms of financial management, I gradually realized that it not only protects my account, but also my mental health. When I put a risk on each small order, for example, if I lose 1-2 of my account, I won't be as stressed as before. Even if I lose a few orders in a row, I can still stay calm because I know that the total loss is still under control. This makes me more confident when I make a decision and not let my